Hello and welcome to Theme Park Information. In today's show we've got a review for Steel Curtain, located in Pittsburgh. Now this is a ride which just recently opened in 2019, and actually we managed to go on it about 3 or 4 days after its grand opening, so we cut it pretty close with our trip for whether or not it's going to be open or not. And I will be honest, this is a very difficult ride to review in some ways. I only managed to get one ride on it, one back row ride, and there's a very good reason for that. And I'm going to start very negative, unfortunately, with this review, just because it's something that I've got a lot to talk about, so we'll get that out of the way. And that is the fact this ride, obviously, I appreciate that it has just opened. It's still, obviously, there's going to be a few issues here and there. They're going to be working stuff out. I mean, there were actually some engineering and maintenance people on the platform of the ride while it was operating. So clearly it wasn't fully operational. And it's one of the things I would love to give it a second chance at some point, even if that's quite unlikely to happen anytime soon. So please be aware that obviously I do appreciate this ride to review could change. But when it's running one train and you queue for over 3 hours, I think, for it, then you realise that you're going to be pretty angry. Now, one of the reasons for that anger is actually the fact that we're told that it'd be an hour's wait. Now, I do appreciate you could take some of what is said when you enter the ride queue line by the person at the front gate with a pinch of salt, because sometimes they will underestimate it, they will lowball you and stuff like that, but not quite by 2 hours. That to me is just really poor. Like, if it's a 3 hour wait, a 2 hour wait, tell me. Like, it would be fair enough. I appreciate that, you may have been referred to it was an hour and stuff like that. But, just be honest with people. It's a pet hate of mine when parks do this. Just say what it is. Because then it means I would go, oh, okay. And then I could go grab, like, some food, drink, whatever, before getting in line. Whereas an hour, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm not feeling too bad. It's like, whereas, it's one of the things as well. There wasn't exactly, much in the queue line to really, do to keep you out of the horrendous, 30-degree sun and stuff like that. Yeah, there were some black sheets on, which did, I would say, take the edge off. But, for example, there aren't any fans, there aren't any drinking fountains, there aren't any vending machines, all of which would be extremely helpful. And I appreciate that they will probably be installed, or at least some of them will be installed sooner or later, which, again, is fair enough. And, again, it's one of the things where I appreciate that some of this is going to be massively outdated by the time this review is released. Or it's already outdated by the time this review is released, but obviously it's just my initial thought. Now, I will say that there was a bit of a delay because they put a second train on, and again, this would be exactly the same thing with any ride. You putting a second train on will always delay the operations for about, usually about 10 to 20 minutes. So again, I don't really necessarily have a problem with that. It was just more of a case of, why isn't this train on earlier in the day? It's clearly going to be busy. You've just opened it. Why is there not 2 trains? Now, of what was really surprising about it is you'd expect that 2 trains would massively improve the operations. Not really. No, they didn't really dispatch them any quicker. If anything, that train spent more time just effectively waiting to come back into the station. Now, again, I appreciate this ride, and I keep repeating it because, it's fair enough this ride has just opened. I appreciate there's going to be some teething problems. It's not going to be running 100%. But all of these things were very frustrating before you've been on the ride. It effectively means you're well, this has to be worth it. It needs to be worth it. It better be worth it. And stuff like that all comes into the context of it, all comes into the fore. You get a lot of frustration, you get a lot of angry people. And it's one of those things where they can't help it, particularly how long you queue for when it's new and they're just waiting. But again, if you've been told it's going to be a long queue, if the queue line was properly prepared, if it was properly ready, it would just have been nice. It was a little bit of a, be in the bonnet about it, I will be honest. It's just that before the ride sort of thing just irritated me. Now, with that being said, how good was the ride itself? Being perfectly honest with you, it was reasonable. Like, I will be honest, I actually really, really enjoyed the first drop and first inversion. I thought that was pretty spectacular, especially in the back row. I actually thought the couple of inversions after that, which is effectively called Banana Roll, was fairly, it was okay. It wasn't, painful or rough, but it was just okay. Same with the couple after that, Serpentine Roll was again, just, it was reasonable. Not too bad, not too great. Didn't really do much for me, or, it wasn't really painful and uncomfortable. It was just kind of there. And then you kind of go outside the structure and stuff like that as well, over effectively the really cool photogenic bit over the water and stuff like that. That bit was really sweet. Actually, really enjoyed that bit. Got a bit of air, nice bit of airtime over the hill. I thought the inversion, the kind of like, I think it's a dive loop. Might be an element when it comes back around. That was really cool. And then the kind of stall type inversion was sweet as well. But here's the problem. The ride is almost actually done by then, but you still have another few inversions to go through, which were both fine, like the cutback, and I think it's a, just a normal Cobra, corkscrew or something like that, or very similar. They were alright. I mean, here's the thing, this ride was actually, pretty smooth, pretty comfortable. There's no, like, kind of aches or pains while going on it. The back row has a bit of forces here and there. It's quite smooth, good. The lap bars are actually really good. They actually stay in place throughout the entire ride, so if you actually want a bit of space, you can get it. Also love the fact the train is actually, the seats are themed to little footballs, because obviously, this ride is themed to the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I will be honest, as someone from the UK, I don't really care that much. It's one of those things, it's a theme as far as I'm concerned, but I can appreciate why, if you're an American sports fan, this might irritate you. But then again, it is right next to Pittsburgh, so makes a bit of sense having it themed to like your local team. Which I feel, to be honest, I think it's pretty cool, if I'm being really honest. Other than utterly rubbish operations, being lied to, and generally speaking, have to spend 3 hours in a pretty warm queue line, the ride probably didn't live up to it. But then again, obviously, it's then very difficult to rate it and judge it. But trying to be, as impartial and, as reasonable as I can be, I would probably say it was, probably like, get like a 73, maybe, as a score. Probably, definitely around a 7 out of 10. I mean, obviously, I'd love to do this ride again, where it's been open a little bit longer, and potentially the throughput and operations have improved massively. And it will be one of those rides where I think it will improve. But at the moment, I was left a little bit underwhelming. Obviously, I only had one ride at it because I didn't particularly fancy waiting in line again, which is a real shame because I have a feeling it would have actually been a ride, I would have really enjoyed it. It was a ride I was really looking forward to before the trip. So, it had the potential. There has some okay airtime, some fun inversions, a really good drop. A really unique and interesting design and layout. So, it's there to have a top ride, and I will be honest, it's a bit of a shame. Like, left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth that I didn't get to experience it more. But these things happen when you go to rides and theme parks. So, oh well. Anyway, hopefully you have enjoyed the video. Bit of a moan, but okay. Hopefully you enjoyed it anyway. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll obviously catch you on the next video, whenever that may be. Anyway, have a good one.